There have been so many LEGO Star Wars sets over its lifetime of 25 years, and recently I've made a video series where I took a look at some of the most forgotten sets of all time, ones that never get mentioned, are hard to find, or just were completely missed when they were available. In this video, I'm going to be showing you some more of the most forgotten LEGO Star Wars sets of all time in part 5 and the finale to this series. So to kick things off, we have a comment from Ref the Canadian, who has brought up the 2009 Y-Wing, which is definitely a forgotten set. This set retailed for $60, came with 3 minifigures and 570 pieces. This is from the earlier seasons of the Clone Wars and came with Anakin, Ahsoka and R2-D2, who are honestly 3 really boring and regular minifigures, with the same Ahsoka appearing in 7 sets and this same Anakin appearing in 9. That's gotta be almost a record for the most set appearances by the same Jedi figure. Anyway, this set actually looks really nice in my opinion, however it does look kind of weird with the Y-Wing sort of portion of the ship being fully filled out. If you look at a regular Rebel Y-Wing, the 2 engine parts are open and barren, with a lot of greebling and exposed detail. However, on this earlier Clone Wars version, it's fully closed up. I'm not sure which I prefer, but it is unique to have this different one. The yellow is certainly a bright color choice, but I suppose it is pretty rare that we actually see a yellow colored ship in LEGO Star Wars. With inflation, this set would have retailed for around $90 today, which is definitely a high price for what's included here, but I think it is definitely a very forgotten set and never talked about, even though nowadays it is worth about $250 on the aftermarket. Now let's take a look at a set from 10 years later, one that I did recently look at in my 2019 video, but I still think is completely forgotten about, and this is the Death Star Escape. Thanks to Layers on Layers for suggesting this one, and they are 100% right. How many people actually remember this set? This one obviously depicts the scene where Luke and Leia swing across the Death Star and share a bit of an intimate moment.
It should have been me, not him!
This set retailed for $30, included 329 pieces and 3 minifigures of Luke, Leia, and a Stormtrooper. The set comes from a long line of $30 playsets from LEGO Star Wars. If you think back to sets like the Freezing Chamber or Yoda's Hut for some earlier examples. This one doesn't look very good in my opinion. The build is too small to accurately depict the sort of giant hallway and ravine that's in the Death Star, and the dark grey colours really just blend together on this one. The build is on hinges which do allow you to expand it and actually have them swing across the gap, but it's just not much of a play feature, and I could see someone doing this like once or twice, but it would get pretty repetitive after a while. I think this is by far the most forgettable of the $30 playsets, and even though it is quite recent, it definitely deserves a spot on this list. Let's jump back in time to 2002 and take a look at their UCS set. Well, it's kind of a UCS set. This is the 2002 Naboo Starfighter. Despite being officially called a UCS set, this one only features 187 pieces, literally a third of the amount of pieces in the most recent play scale N1 Starfighter. Anyway, this one costs $40, which is very high for that piece count, and it did include R2-D2's head as the only minifigure, or part of a minifigure. The set is primarily forgotten because it only had a shelf life of 3 months, from October to December of 2002. The build primarily uses yellow and chromed pieces, which just looks so nice and definitely do go to explain the high initial price for the set, considering those chrome pieces would have been so much more expensive to actually produce for LEGO. Again, this is just even more forgotten because it's the smallest UCS set to ever exist, and one that I don't think many people even include in their UCS set complete collections, and it is even smaller than minifigure scale. The aftermarket for this set though is absolutely insane. Looking on Bricklink, the cheapest and like the only one I could find that was sealed was for $3,000 US or like 4,500 Australian, which is crazy. So yeah, I doubt anyone is going to pick this one up anytime soon unless you happen to win the lottery or something. Commenter Small Mac suggested that we take a look at the old Yoda Chronicles sets from 2013 and 14, and I definitely do think these are some of the most forgotten sets, but from some of the best LEGO Star Wars years ever. If you didn't know, the Yoda Chronicles was an animated series that aired on Disney Plus at the time, similar to things like the Freemaker Adventures and other LEGO animated shorts like the Padawan Menace. Anyway, we got 2 regularly released sets based on this series, the first being Jek 14's Stealth Starfighter in 2013. This set retailed for $70 and included 550 pieces with 4 amazing minifigures. Looking at those figures, you get Jek 14, who featured an awesome translucent arm. There was then a blue Special Forces clone trooper who looks phenomenal with that full blue color scheme, and even though it uses a Stormtrooper helmet mold, it is still a clone apparently. There's then also an unnamed bounty hunter who looks pretty unique in that sand green and brown color scheme, and then the least interesting figure, who who's an astromech, goes by the name R4GO. Anyway, the build here looks so good considering LEGO designed this on their own. It just has so much Star Wars DNA and it really fits the name of a stealth starfighter. The one negative thing I would say here is that there are a lot of exposed studs on the wings for this one, which aren't terrible, but I think comparing it to today's LEGO Star Wars designs, they definitely would have covered up a fair few of those studs. I think it would just make this one stick out a little bit more if you compare it to some more recent stuff, but it is still a really great set, and if you wanted to pick it up today, you would have to fork out around $200. Continuing on with the other Yoda Chronicles set, this one released the following year in 2014 and was called the Jedi Scout Fighter. This one retailed for $60 and had 490 pieces and once again 4 minifigures. A new Jek 14 was included, featuring a new helmet design. There was then another astromech droid, as well as RA7, which is a protocol droid who looks kind of cool. And then the best figure by far is the Ithorian Jedi Master, whose name is No Guitar, which if you have watched the Yoda Chronicles TV show, you probably remember this guy. He was such a legend.
Room for one more? Master Yoda, you can count on me.
Look, it's, our old friend.
You remember me, don't you?
Yes, happy to see you I am, my man.
Actually, looking at this set though, this is such a great looking ship. It's very authentically Star Wars and it gives us a brand new design for a ship which just seamlessly fits in with all the other Republic style ships with that dark red and lime green. I think this just goes to show you when LEGO aren't constrained to making a set look exactly like any kind of source material, they have an extra level of freedom to really make something special. So as to why both these sets are forgotten, it primarily has to do with the source material, as these ships aren't being seen or spoken about at all today, as the Yoda Chronicles was obviously discontinued after 2014 and is no longer producing new episodes. I do feel like though, with that new LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy mini-series that's coming out I think in September, there's a chance someone like Jek 14 might actually show up in that because he is an integral part of LEGO Star Wars history and it is a really great time period from the theme. Alright, so the last set that I'm going to be looking at today was also released in 2002, and this one is the Bounty Hunter Pursuit from Attack of the Clones. Now this set is so amazing, so let's take a look at it. For $30, this one came with Obi-Wan, Anakin, and our only ever Zam Wesell minifigure in a beautiful sand purple color. The two builds are amazing with both Zam Wessells and the other speeder included. I especially love the chrome cup elements that are used for the wing mirrors, and the colors on both these speeders are just super special, and we rarely see sets that are this overtly colorful in LEGO Star Wars. The shaping on Zam Wesell's ship is also really nice for 2002 standard and actually looks pretty close to its on-screen counterpart. Now you may be wondering why this set is on the list since it's not the most forgotten set by fans, but I actually think it is one of the most forgotten sets by LEGO themselves. Like honestly, why has this set not gotten a remake since 2002? It's such an iconic scene and it would just work perfectly as a 2-pack set with both speeders, some cool minifigures and more, and hey, maybe if they did remake it, you could even include a Dexter Jetster minifigure as a bonus. So LEGO, if you're watching this, which I know you probably aren't, please make this set. So that about wraps up this series for now. Thank you for all the support on all 5 parts. It's been so much fun to look at all these random and forgotten LEGO Star Wars sets, and if you do think of any more, please let me know in the comments. I might do a part 6, but probably not for a little while, because next up, I'm gonna be taking a look at some forgotten LEGO Ninjago sets. So if that sounds interesting, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.